Still here for the organizational follow-on meeting of the new board. Congratulations to everybody. First things first, as of now, there are no officers on the board. That's the very first thing we need to do is identify a president, a vice president, a secretary, and a treasurer. Those are the 4 officers on the board. So we can start at the top, and if anybody wants to be president, they can make a pitch and say, I should be president or not. I volunteer to be president to carry it on. If anybody else would like to be president, you're more than welcome to say so.
Mark, I have a statement. I am an appointed treasurer at this point, and I am resigning on the completion of this year's audit. So that's most likely to happen before the end of January. So at that point, I'll step down, and that would announcing when I'm stepping down means that you need to replace me at that point. Take me out of the role, then I can't finish the project. So just to let you know.
Should we have 2 people work with, somebody else work with you as a treasurer, so this way the transition?
Once the transition is made to this new bookkeeping, that's the most important thing. We have a new bookkeeping company we hired. Just be giving them what they need in the audit. I don't know if someone can work with me and show you, oh, they need this report to get through the audit. I think that's all it's kind of what to do at this point. But I'm welcome to anybody who wants to mirror it. It's a lot of time.
And you think the end of January?
Yeah, that's what my guess is. It could go a little further depending on when Balanced Asset Solution finishes their audit and they make the transition to start taking care of the books. We're expecting that to be in January sometime, right?
Yeah. Or if you're a volunteer, if we appoint a new treasurer tonight, you can assist the new treasurer.
No, I will resign.
Okay. All right. So first things first. President.
I nominate you.
Second. Thanks. Second.
I think that needs, my opinion is to stay that the same.
All right. Any opposed to me continuing on as president?
Nope.
Thank you all for your trust and confidence. I mean that.
Well, thank you for the work that you've done.
Appreciate it.
Vice president. Anyone like to be the guy that I call in the middle of the night? Guy or girl?
I'm happy to step in. If
You volunteering?
Yeah, I mean, you heard that.
I second that.
You don't want him calling you anymore? So when he calls me, I'm gonna call you.
If the phone has to be on. There's always an off button.
Thank you.
No, I do have backup on.
Come on.
So I'm just seconding
All right.
volunteer.
All in favor of April being vice president?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Secretary. We need someone, it's secretary, but it's like Secretary of State. It's like the historian. It's the person that makes sure that everything is accurate. And someone that takes notes during the meetings, compiles the minutes,
And writes them.
and then writes them, and then sends them out to the board for review.
But it documents what we do.
Right.
It's
Upload the documents to the appropriate location.
Mhm.
It's actually a very important position because even things like the budget and so forth have to be documented. The audit has always trying to get that done, and they compare the notes compared to what we've done in finances.
Anybody want to be secretary?
You don't want my dyslexic ass, right?
I'm sorry. You'd be like, what did he just say? Better voice the text.
I don't mind.
Okay,
Mine will be, I'm not a good handwriter, but it'll be on my laptop.
that's fine.
Perfect.
That's excellent.
I type a lot quicker and it's neat.
That is perfect.
So
And then you can have a standard
I'll-
format. which is-
I'll get used to the format.
Perfect. I love it. I second it.
Railroad.
All in favor? Any opposed?
There it is, railroad.
Well, treasurer.
I think he's staying on, right, until January.
Well, that's up to the board. I'm gonna nominate Rebecca.
Actually, it's not. Once I announce my resignation, my term is good until the resignation is over.
Well, we're assigning new officers tonight, and I nominate Rebecca as treasurer.
I'm happy to help. I have plenty of experience doing budgets. I'm more than happy to work with you or partner with you in the process, so.
Is,
Is there a way to vote to make it official later to?
I was gonna ask, like, I feel like there's not a good transition period without,
Exactly, that's what I'm worried about. If you want me to, step down, I'm glad to at this point, but I'll turn over everything to you.
okay,
You'll have to deal with the auditors.
okay.
Is there a way to work with?
Well, I mean, if that's the way he wants to handle it, I mean,
It is the way I want to handle it.
there's
because I
nothing
don't have-
stopping you from
If
fulfilling.
someone else wants to
something
do
you
the
started.
job, I'm more than happy to step away from it.
Well, I'm just trying to ask questions so we can clarify
Mhm.
exactly what we're trying to make a decision on, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a requirement to replace the treasurer tonight? Or can we let him fulfill his duties and then, let him resign at his, time at the end of the audit? And then bring on a new treasurer?
There is nothing stopping us from both assigning a treasurer tonight and then also Sean finishing up the audit,
Sean,
except for Sean
If I don't
having.
have any rights to do anything at that point.
yeah, no, I just wanted to ask, you're not opposed to working with anybody that on the current board that would like to make sure that they understand what you're doing, who you're working with, and have the contacts that you have, and so that should someone step into your position once you're
No, I'm
resigned.
not opposed to that at all.
Okay.
I just, in order for me to sign the documents and pay the bills and so forth, what I'm doing right now, you remove me a treasurer, I have to transition the bank account right away.
Understand. I
And we
think-
don't have the bank, we don't have the bookkeeping facility in play yet for them to take care of that part, so that whoever takes that role is gonna have to be able to take care of paying the bills.
I mean, she's got experience, in previous budgets, stuff like that down the road. My vote would be for that to happen off the bat, but him to continue until the transition can occur at the end of January. That's just my.
I would agree with that, and
Right off the
I don't know what the technical rules around that are. I don't know, Sean, if you would be willing to do that, but
Absolutely, as soon as I resign, I'm glad to work with anybody to show them what's going on.
Mhm.
I just want to stay in play until I get the audits finished, and then at that point, I'm gonna run,
I
I promise.
I would
So
agree with that.
would you be opposed then if we appointed Rebecca to be the treasurer and then you transition everything to her and you help her through
The
your
legal
process?
requirement is as soon as you
Okay.
make her treasurer, I have to change the accounts over.
No, I understand you have to change the accounts over, but you would be available to her to go over what it is that you've set in place.
Can I?
Right.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm just confused as to what you're willing to do.
Um,
He's saying if he goes and
Let him stay with these ones.
stays right now until the end of January. Not her come in now, because if she comes in, there's a vote for her now, the way I understand it, if there's a vote for her now. His duties is relieved and he has to transfer
Exactly.
everything over today or tomorrow.
or in very short time.
But you would,
Transfer thing.
right, but an advisory role and you would help in that transition as an advisor. You can be an advisor without being the treasurer. Would you be willing to do that until that was done?
It
Is my
depends on the
question.
way this goes, because what I'm trying to explain to you is right now I'm paying all the bills and doing all the bookkeeping, all of it. It's just not overseeing, I'm doing all of it.
No, I understand that.
So, if you take me off the bank accounts because I don't have rights to them and I can't pay the bills, someone else has to do that.
Right.
It's fine, but someone has to do that.
May I ask a question? So as part of the rules, can we have Sean be an interim treasurer and see this through until the end of January, until the end of the audit? And then we make a vote on a permanent treasurer once he's ready to resign his post? Are we able to do that so
That
that
would
there's
be
a more
the normal
seamless
process.
transition?
What we could also do, and this is up to you. It is not uncommon for someone else writing the checks and taking care of everything, but you'd have to vote for that. So I am the finance chairman as well. So as a finance chairman, you can keep me in that role, but you'd have to leave me on the accounts and vote to leave me on the accounts until I finish the audit. The only reason I need to do that is because I need to make sure this audit's clean before my name comes off it.
Mhm.
And there's no way for someone jumping in after what happened with Associate. We're still trying to get through that audit mess. It's gonna know the history, and I'm not sure I can train you that in a month. I'm not
Right,
sure I can.
right.
I'd like to try if I could, but I just don't have the wherewithal to spend the time, to be honest with you. It's a huge amount of work.
Can you keep, my suggestion is, can you keep
Rebecca copied on what's going on, so this way,
Absolutely.
she steps right into it. So the minute the audit's done, you say bye, she moves in, she's ready. to-
Sure, and then be mirroring me, which is what I'm fine with that, yeah.
Okay, just so that, because I mean, I see the worry in your face and it's making me worried.
I just
about
spent
the
so much time
transition.
cleaning it up and I'm trying to get it so that it is clean going into the new bookkeeping
Right.
company so that we don't have any lack or balance, problems with it when it comes in. They're gonna do a full audit themselves before they start, and then I've got a third-party auditor doing a forensic audit at this point. Still trying to accomplish that, we're waiting for a couple pieces, and that, as soon as that's done, like I said, I'm glad to step down, absolutely.
Okay,
I just, if you want me to not be the treasurer, I don't know how much time I can dedicate to training somebody, but I'll do the best I can. I basically, I run a business that's in 26 states and I do everything in the middle of the night,
Mm,
so it's hard on me.
When does the new accounting company come online?
They're actually on that line right now. They're doing a audit of the portfolio.
Mhm.
That'll take anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, and then from that point, they take over. So once their audit's done, so it
Mhm.
could be 3 weeks, could be 4, it could be 6.
So that takes care of the bookkeeping part of it, the payments, all that go, they'll generate the payments, but then you do what's called a check run and sign and send them.
mhm,
They don't move money, so you would have to sign the checks and do everything like that.
okay, okay.
What is this audit this has been going on since when?
The audit started
That's a
back,
different audit than the accounting company,
No, I'm talking about his
His-
audit. Is
it's
it
not
your-
my audit, it's the board's audit, but we're required each year to have a full audit done. And last year, when we made the transition, we had to go to a forensic audit because the data was not complete from associate and we had to rebuild everything from scratch. So all that data was put in by hand and we validated, we had to download all the invoices and we validate them and put them in and send an account. We spent hundreds and hundreds of hours doing that. They're
Who
going
is
through that.
conducting the audit? You are conducting the audit?
No, it's a
No.
third-party
You have to
audit
do a
required by
third-party.
law.
So what is taking them so long?
Well, there's a few pieces we're still missing, but every time they look at it, they found a new problem that I have to solve. We're still waiting for minutes for the special assessment. That's what's taking longer.
Mhm.
I had conversations with this week.
And so-
They started doing from the general ledger again, and they want me to reproduce all the reports again because they found a discrepancy in the totals. And so I have to go through that. So it's a very extensive audit. It's not a cursory audit.
Hmm.
Once it's done, it kind of puts us in check for everything moving forward. And then they can go right into the 2003 audit, which will take hardly no time since we've already cleaned up what happened in 2023.
This is 2022 audit.
The 2022 audit. And we're going into 24. So this company's been auditing us for a year.
No,
Since
we didn't have the books ready for them to go to audit
Hmm.
until sometime in June.
It was before me, so.
No. It's not before you.
No.
Just happened this June. Should have been started, it's finished, completed by April according to state law. This has been disclosed in almost every board meeting for
Mhm.
quite a while, so.
I think it sounds extremely complex. I think you have a good handle on it. What is your preference? You're very passionate about it. You put a lot of time into it. So I'd like to know what your preference is.
My biggest concern is trying to get it so that it's clean going forward, because trying to understand what's going on at this point without having someone audit it and say that it was correct can make a mess.
Right.
We inherited a mess to start with, associate caused a bigger mess from that. So this is all the cleanup and it's taken an inordinate amount of time to do so. I've had a couple people help, and Jason is in this room, spent hundreds of hours with them at this point, going through this. And basically that's just getting the data so it could get to audit. So it's, I don't have, any problem helping even after that. I just don't want to sit as treasurer. I don't want to be part of this room anymore.
Again, what is your preference moving forward? How would you like us to transition from,
Ideally, I'd like to finish the audits and I can mirror people on what's being done, and as Bass gets ramped up, includes you in the training and so forth that goes with that, because you have to run the program a little bit too. And it's not a standard accounting program, but it's got most of the features of a standard accounting program. And so our AppFolio is all the accounting stuff. So that would be something that we'd want to transition. So what I would recommend is you could put, treasurer elect in and call it that, and then have her just take over when I resign. That would be okay too.
I don't have any issue with that.
Yeah,
Are you comfortable with that?
I would be much more comfortable with that approach than just cold turkey, yeah.
So typically in the military, when we do a turnover, it's like you're in the seat, left seat, right seat, you're in the seat, you're driving, and then she's riding next to you for a month.
It's called mirroring.
And then you flip. And then she drives for a month. And then you monitor and make sure that everything is going right. And I think that's how I'd like to do it.
But you can't drive an audit if you don't know the data.
That's what you're saying, you stay.
She has a month.
and see.
But she's asking me to flip flop.
At the end of
At
the
the end
first
of the
month.
audit, at the end of the audit.
At the end of the audit, I'm done.
December 31st, I'd like her going into the new year to kind of be tracking everything from January 1st on. I don't want her to take over February 1st because we're already a year in, or I'm sorry, a month in. I want her to be tracking 2024 from jump, you know what I mean?
Okay,
So
but
I'd
I
like-
still don't know whether BAS will be in place yet. And that's where she's got to start tracking it from their reports.
yeah, I'd start today. Treasurer elect. And then December 31st, switch seats. And then she takes the audit from there. Because you don't know how long this audit could go. This audit has been going for months. It could go till June. It could go till August of next year. They could keep finding things that are wrong. So. And that could happen, like that's been happening.
But I think we will be meeting along those timeframes. And if it continues to drag out, we have the option at any time to say, you know, identify that there's a problem, we don't want it to continue to drag on, and then make a decision later. I don't think we have to make that call or timeline right this second. So I think the elect position, right, where you get to mirror, and then we'll see where we are with the audits.
And maybe we can revisit where things are at the next meeting to make the decision whether we do it January 1st or, you know, because if I'm gonna have to take over data. I'm not ready to manage, right? So
I do want Rebecca
that's
to be
a hot
comfortable
mess.
too.
I don't particularly want to take over data that's a hot mess, you know what I mean? So,
So, and this is all contingent on a couple different things. We still have to do background checks and then still have to change over the annual report information. So that'll have to happen before we can go to the bank. I have to have that information in my hand to go to the bank.
I do get the sense that you're not trying to stay on the board any longer than you absolutely need to.
Absolutely not.
So I don't feel like this isn't an attempt to continue to be in play. So I don't have a concern that you're gonna try to drag this out, right? I do think we have time as this progresses to make decisions. We don't have to make a decision all right here, right now. So I'd like to nominate Rebecca as a treasurer-elect. And then, if anybody wants to second that. If anybody
Taking notes?
opposed.
I second.
Yep, I wasn't expecting the laptop necessary right now.
Patty's open.
Thank you, Patty.
Absolutely, done anything for you, know that.
I'll give you a copy tomorrow.
I'd still like to set a goal of January 1st as a turnover of official title. If we can get the audit done by then, pressure the company, say, get it done.
Pressure
don't-
what company?
Yeah.
the auditors.
That's not the audit we're trying to get through.
There's two audits going on. It's one
It'll actually be three before it's over. 2022 and 2023 plus their audit. There's three of them going.
I think goals are good, and I think we have flexibility when goals may be too lofty,
Reevaluate.
right?
Mhm.
It really comes down to, I think, Rebecca being very comfortable with where we're at in the process and in the programs. So until Rebecca decides that she's not happy with the situation, I think I'm good with you being elect.
Yes, and I would be much more comfortable having Sean. Help get me up to speed, have a little bit of time to understand, have some time to shadow with them and really make sure that I understand what's
you're
going
stepping
on,
into.
what's going on, yeah. So that we don't take over and have a train wreck in, you know, a year type
And
of
it's
thing.
all your fault.
Yeah, exactly, so
And the reason I want to do the audits.
All right then, treasurer elected is. With a goal, January 1st turnover. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right,
Terms of office.
Just to know, if there is a turnover in January first, that means you'll have to do the 2023 audit.
Okay, we can,
It's a goal.
yeah, we can talk through that.
It can be reassessed as
So-
needed.
The last item on the agenda is identifying term limits. So,
Already did that, I think.
yeah, just reiterating because it's on the agenda. Kevin, Rebecca, Mark, and Jason, top four. So we will serve for 2 years unless we resign first. April, Mac, and John L. Bottom three, you're 1 year, so you'll be up for, your seats will be up for reelection next year this time.
Got it.
And note to all the officers, you can serve as an officer only 2 terms or an interim term and a full term. And then after that, you can be reelected to as a director, but no longer as that officer. So 2 years as president, 2 years as secretary, 2 years as treasurer. And so,
It's a great point. So in closing, I would like to encourage you all to start digging into our bylaws. There's a plethora of governing documents. So there's the charter, which governs everybody. Then there's bylaws that govern everybody. And then each service area has their own separate bylaws. And all these are available online. You can log in and read them. In addition, become intimately familiar with Florida Statute 720.
We have official training to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's the next step. There is also official training, which we have to do, which Patty will be sending out in addition to background checks. Closing comments, anyone?
Our meeting is the last Thursday of every month.
Last Thursday of every month. So for this year, since it's December and it's Christmas and all that,
We'll do Christmas Eve then.
I think it's the 28th.
that would be the 28th of December.
My daughter will be upset with that one.
how's that? Birthday? That's your birthday?
No,
It's Christmas Eve.
12/28.
12/28.
I was saying the 20. you were saying
Unless we need to meet before that.
I will be out of town.
It's okay.
On
You
the
can-
28th.
You
but I
can zoom in.
Okay,
Yep,
good.
absolutely.
I did it from Rome last week.
Any closing comments?
Just.
All right, motion to adjourn. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor of adjourning? Aye. Any opposed? None opposed. Have a great night, everyone.
So we decided to do it the 28th, is what you said?
Oh,
Uh,
this